Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Greetings and salutations, and a big warm welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where every day we look at how emerging technologies and those brave early adopters that dare to navigate through uncharted digital waters are solving real-world problems with technology. And today I've invited Derek Wang of Stratifyd onto the show. And as many of you know, AI in financial services is a growing trend right now. And with AI, FinServ companies are already increasingly able to ingest and analyse data from a variety of channels in a timely and accurate manner. And in the process, they're also dramatically impacting on customer experience, acquisition and retention. But North Carolina-based Stratifyd is a technology company providing an end-to-end AI-powered customer analytics platform to companies on a global scale. And the platform is utilising unsupervised machine learning, natural language understanding, topic modelling, predictive intelligence, sentiment analysis, and so much more to solve the unique problems that enterprises are facing right now. And if we think about adoption, well, Stratifyd have got that covered too, because they've already deployed in blue chip companies in sectors spanning from automotive, pharma, insurance, and Fortune 500 financial services companies. That is so much cool tech and real world examples of business transformation to dive into today. But at the heart of it all is a fantastic and inspirational human story too. So I invite you to let me take your ears on a trip all the way to North Carolina and join me and Derek Wang in conversation. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, everybody. My name is Derek Wang. I'm a founder and CEO of Stratifyd, which is a data analytics platform powered by AI to really set out the vision to help democratize AI for everyone.
And one of the things I love doing on this daily tech podcast is, yes, learn about the new and latest emerging technologies and how they're transforming entire industries, but also find out a little bit more about the human backstory. So could I ask that you share yours, where I believe you started with a government-funded research on the ways that AI could be used to ingest, analyze, and visualize unstructured data. And then from there, how did that pave the way to Stratifyd? Could you expand on that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I was a university professor before Stratifyd about 4.5 years ago. Much of that project was funded by U.S. state government to really look into how can they leverage unstructured textual data to do more public goods, like predicting epidemics or finding out where are the areas that they can improve their services. So that gives me a lot of time to think about how and where to capture human experience out in the world, leveraging all different kind of data sources. As you can imagine, back then is your Twitter, your Instagram, your publicly available data. However, what really triggers at that point was there's just so many different data sources that will capture human experience. And it's really hard to find a generic way that can cross-cutting all of the sources because of its own uniqueness to find a holistic way to understand what this human experience look like. So that's part of the reason why we started Stratifyd, of saying, instead of looking at the data-centric viewpoint, can we build a platform looking at this from a technology and analytics first viewpoint so that we can build a generic platform that everybody can leveraging that to look in different aspects of human experience. Fundamentally, what we are doing and latching on is to understand the nature of those sources into different data types, and then figure out what are a automatic dissemination of the types, and then really associating those with its appropriate and respectful machine learning AI technology on back of that to accomplish, I'm going to throw a big term here, unsupervised machine learning to accomplish what our goal is to provide a automated AI platform for everyone.
And here we are now in 2019, soon to be 2020, and Stratifyd is that technology company providing an end-to-end AI-powered customer analytics platform, but to companies worldwide. So could I ask that you set the scene and tell me more about exactly what it is, what problems you solve, and also, of course, what makes it unique from all those other solutions out there that are leveraging those similar emerging technologies?
Yeah, absolutely. The goal for Stratifyd is to help line of business to rapidly and most effectively identify insights that out of any of the data that you have. Particularly when we're talking about data, this is really both your unstructured, which is your textual data, as well as your structured data, which is your numerical and all the good stuff. And what we're doing is to help people discover the unknowns out of the unstructured data and helping them to match those unknowns with all the structured data so that they can have a holistic understanding of how a customer experience or a human experience really impacting your brand and your sales and your solutions. To give you an example, we have helped a tier one OEM in the automotive industry to truly looking at their dealership visits, to look at their publicly kind of comments from the forums that against their brands, and trying to help them understanding what is the biggest impact that they have to kind of drive their online rating to drop 10 different positions last year. So typically, if you think about how people are attacking this problem, is they solve this problem by human. They will just put more analysts on there reading through the comments and making the business acumen all across the board, using human brain power to really making the association. We computerize that in a very simple term so that our computer algorithms actually will read through all those documents and comments and then surveys and then start to telling them, hey, we start identifying something called burning smell as a key topic that you should pay attention to. Oh, at the analyst on the OEM side, looking at that and saying, oh, burning smell, that mustn't be good. They can double click on the burning smell interactively within our platform so that they can drill down to, oh, now I see that burning smell really happens at kind of Alabama manufacturing pipeline during the dates between December 2017 to early 2018. And most of those vehicles are impacted around 1,020 kind of vehicles there and consist of my most expensive vehicles that we're producing. So those mental connection and the interaction happen within our platform in 5 to 10 seconds that people can start seeing those patterns to them. And as people always say, a picture worth 1,000 words. Those are the trigger point to the business analysis and look at this as, oh, wow, it's really that our technicians forget to put a major piece onto those vehicles that is causing burning smells going back to the cockpit, right? Those is how our platform can help them discover these issues that the analysts and the team wasn't aware of before, where when they tried to attack this problem, it was using, I'm going to put 7 people reading through all those documents and trying to find what's there. Our system helped them to arrive that in a matter of minutes instead of months.
And if I look under the hood at the technology that makes all this possible, I quickly see that the platform utilizes unsupervised machine learning, natural language understanding, topic modeling, predictive intelligence, sentiment analysis, and so much more, all to help solve those unique problems that enterprises are facing right now. But can you tell me more about the roles of artificial intelligence and machine learning and ultimately what it's enabling businesses to do that they just couldn't do before?
Yeah, absolutely. In our Stratifyd, as we proudly go into the market with, when we're saying AI, truly our belief is augmented intelligence, right? We always position the decision maker in the center, who are everybody, who are basically you and me that are looking at this, leveraging AI to do 2 things. One is to do insight discovery, like I just described in the previous example, that can help people unveil the unknowns out of the data point. And the other side of that is to converting what we know into predictive models so that it can be integrated with my daily routines or my workflows, whatever you call it. So the way, in our opinion, about going forward, the says in the name, augmented intelligence, is all the AI algorithms and machine learning is to help us making better and stronger and more accurate decisions in a relative short amount of time. And in turn, through that, to have a very positive social impact, both out of your workplace as well as goes into your personal routines and moving forward. That's our viewpoint about where AI goes. It will make our life and decision making more effective and easier.
And adoption, of course, is what ultimately will determine the success of any solution out there and any technology too. And many people listening will hear about AI and machine learning, but struggle to find any real world examples of it in action and inside a business so they can learn from that. Can you tell the listeners a little bit more about how Stratifyd is already deployed by blue chip companies in sectors spanning multiple industries such as CPG, automotive, pharma, insurance, and Fortune 500 financial service companies? And also maybe offer a few client stories that will just help listeners visualize and understand the value that it brings and what it could bring to their business too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is really a spot on question, right? So if you think about AI, and typically when you apply AI from a top down point of view, meaning the listeners are looking and consider AI as this overarching futuristic solution that can do everything. That's not us. Yeah. We actually took it from the completely different way to latching on the terms you're using, adoption. Is that the way we think about AI is how can we break down that top-down AI to bottom up? How can we design a system, a platform in our case, that help everyday workers and decision makers to start leveraging those AI capabilities to doing even more simplistic and specific tasks that they want to do, right? So what do I mean by that? That means our platform is very easy to use on a personal level. That means our platform starts with unsupervised machine learning so that you don't need to learn what AI, what neural network, what deep machine learning is to be able to leverage those capabilities. That means our platform is really glass up. You see one pane of glass, understanding and looking at everything in a very ease of use UI interface to drive adoption. But on the bottom, behind that is using massive computing to help each individual to accomplish the goals that you want to do. So give you a real world example. One of the pharmaceutical companies are leveraging our platform to improve their client relationship in the way where they're really forward thinking, right? They have 20-some different drug brands. Instead of trying to fit all the drug brands into one holistic AI decision making, they break it down to each individual drug brand are leveraging our platform in its own way and start leveraging how their customer, who are the patients, who are the primary care providers, who are their doctors, communicate back to that drug brand, that specific drug like a diabetes drug, and start unveiling, using our system as unveiled to them, hey, really your instruction menu couldn't be more vague. That doesn't help ultimately the patients to leverage that drug to get better, to get healthier. That was continuous feedback from the customers to the drug company. But with our platform, our engine can summarize that and put that front and center to display to that specific drug brand owner. And him or her can start leveraging that in real time of identifying who are the impacted customers. what are the specific customer behaviors. Now they start seeing those are leading issues, and then really mapping those in our AI auto learning process and generate a predictive inference engine so that any net new customer surveys or feedback or doctor feedback will automatically be determined on that specific case of saying, hey, this is something relevant to the instruction manual being vague, and here are a automated package that they will send back down to those customer and patients, so that holistically reduce the time, reduce the confusion, and then really powerful to help them to attack and solve other problems that are coming from their brands that, or the people that are actually feeding back to them.
I think it's also worth highlighting that Stratifyd recently closed a 25 million Series B investment. So can you tell me more about that, and also how it's going to actually help you move forward as a business and what it means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with our investor from Georgian Partners and our existing investors, they really betting on the vision that we're looking at, right? Our vision is to democratize AI, so that everybody can start leveraging the computing powers that we created and ease of use to come make better and faster and more effective decisions. So with this investment into us, is really help us to more strengthening our goal of our kind of go-to-market of our missions carrying out. It's really focusing on the hub and spoke approach. It's fundamentally, we are a platform company. We build one platform that is supported by a slew over a dozen of different products in that platform. But as we go to different market sectors, we're focusing on the verticals that we can provide a good solution into. For example, we have betting on big into contact center solutions that we have start building out a product in our platform can help people transcribe the textual audio files into textual data, and then leveraging our machine learning and AI capability, end of the day, to improve their operational efficiencies in every call center that's around the world in 7-8 different languages right now. And we're going to 10-20 different languages as we're going just in the call center business, right? That money behind us, it gives us the opportunity to extend into solution area like that. It also gives us the ability to go into vertical sector like financial, pharmaceutical, and automotive as our key vertical focus.
Wow, you guys are really thinking big and solving big problems there. So what's your ultimate goal for Stratifyd?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, Neil, I'm a very curious person, right? My curiosity comes into, with our vision of democratizing AI, the goal for us is really put Stratifyd platform in its current form, in its more intuitive, even more simplified form on everybody, for everybody, right? It's really the ability for people to have easy access to the AI machine learning capability that typically are hoarded by the big corporations, and breaking that down and deliver to everyone. That's my goal as a company going forward. I'm curious about where we can go. I'm curious about working with you to spread out our vision to everybody so that we can go broader, we can go more in depth. And that's where we're pushing into. As a company, I think that simply put, long and short of that is we'll keep growing. We'll keep growing with our vision in mind. We'll keep carrying out and make AI and augmented intelligence accessible for everyone.
And for those business leaders that are listening, that some of them might be shouting at their smartphone saying, but Neil, ask him about the ROI. Can you tell me about how Stratifyd's AI platform can not only help them obtain that competitive advantage that we've talked about today, but of course, return on investment?
Absolutely. ROI is very important when you're dealing with large enterprise as we're solving. And the way we're looking at ROIs are actually threefold. Number one is the operational efficiency, right? As each organization is all optimizing their internal efficiency, that's kind of top of mind of them, where we provide is really truly operational efficiency. Second of this it's really top line growth, right? It's very apparent to different business owners to say, hey, how much does a brand damage, in my previous example with automotive OEM, how much is a brand damage really worth to me? How much is a recall that Stratifyd helped me caught that really valuable to me? They can easily do that calculation. And third is really the time to insights, right? It's because all of them and every enterprise and business in nowadays of a full 24/7 internet access, the sooner you can get to the bottom of an issue, the better. And the sooner they can understand the challenge, the better. All three of those, both efficiency, top line brand growth, and efficiency, you can put a number to it. You can easily justify why we are bringing you significant amount of ROI to your organization.
So what's next for Stratifyd then? What is your immediate primary focus for, let's say, the next 12 to 18 months? Is there some big things that you're going after?
Yeah, so we are betting into the vision of disrupting the contact center and call center space. That is a big space that can be leveraged a lot of AI to use and could really help people to improve more of their efficiency. And that's one of the go-to-market segment we're going to. But also, as I said, our vision is in full swing carrying out as a platform. We're opening up our platform to invite more contributors outside our company to provide building more solutions that can benefit everybody else. For example, as we said, we're going to mid-market. The way that we're doing this is really inviting area experts, subject matter experts, leaders in the different segments to leverage a well-built platform like ours to generate solutions or use cases where they can spread it wide and kind of bright with all their individual subject domain expertise and their downstream users. To that matter, if you think about us, compare us to be a company that out there, which I admire personally quite a bit, is really Salesforce, right? The core Stratifyd platform is the core Salesforce platform. And what we're opening up is their app exchange and their own marketplace for Stratifyd to go into the sector with.
And for anybody listening that would like to find out more information about Stratifyd and your mission and the kind of work that you're going to be doing and keep up to speed with the latest news there, what's the best way of following you online and also contacting your team if anyone's got any other questions?
I think number one is to subscribe to your podcast, Neil. I think that I will expect more of this. And all of our news are going to be on our stratifyd.com. Or you can follow our Twitter handle at GetStratified on Twitter. That will be the fastest way that we can get communicated. All the channels are listed up there.
You are a gentleman, my friend, for giving the podcast a shout out. What I love here is the whole story behind Stratifyd and how you've gone from that government-funded research on the ways that AI could be used to ingest, analyze, and visualize unstructured data to becoming recognized as an innovator and global force in the customer analytics industry, and how you're constantly looking towards the future. I think it's an inspirational story, and I cannot thank you enough for coming on and sharing it with me today. And hopefully we'll get you back on next year and we'll learn a little bit more about how that mission is expanding. So thanks for joining me today, Derek.
Thank you so much, Neil. More than happy to, and you have a good one.
Stratifyd is enabling companies to efficiently tailor marketing efforts, increase customer retention, and improve products and services, boosting revenue in the process, all based on timely and accurate analysis of unstructured data. And yes, it is that platform's sophisticated AI-powered engine that's going to get all the headlines for ingesting complex data feeds and rapidly deliver real value in the form of actionable insights. And the fact that they've also recently closed a $25 million Series B investment is a great indication that there's more great things to come. But you know what? At the heart of all of that, all those emerging technologies and that great success story, is an incredible, inspirational human story of how Derek grew up in Beijing and received a PhD in computer science from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And shortly after then, along with the company's other two co-founders, they began conducting government-funded research on ways that AI could be used to ingest, analyse and visualise unstructured data. And it's during that period that Derek found those strong cases while working with big companies such as Bank of America, Microsoft and Motorola. And ultimately, it was that postdoctorate work that was the foundation on which Stratifyd was built. And I think all too often we all look at the success of a company or an individual and how they're doing right now and look for indications on how we can repeat that success. But the real success here is in that human story. So a huge thank you to Derek for sharing it with us today. As for everyone else listening, do you have a story that you would like to share? Or would you just like to comment on some of the themes that we've talked about today, or indeed any episode this week, this month, or even this year? My door is always open to each and every one of you. I must say a big hello to everyone in Ireland as well. For some reason, I get a notification whenever the podcast spikes in a particular country. And for some reason, we spiked in Ireland and entered the top 5 tech podcasts in Ireland this week. If we do have any Irish listeners that are tuned in today, and you know why that happened, I'd love it for you to let me know. But my door is open to all of you wherever you are located. And my email address is techblogrwriter@outlook.com. Twitter, Instagram is simply @NeilCHughes, or connect with me on LinkedIn as well. But we've reached the end of another episode, so all that's left for me to say is a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.